I have quite a few pepper plants in my garden that just aren't doing anything anymore. And so I think it is time to go ahead and remove those from the garden. But what I'm going to do with a few of them is I am going to try and overwinter them. I'm going to see how that goes. Who knows? But I'm going to try. Now I do have a lot of peppers that are still producing really well. And so I'm going to leave those in the ground for a little while longer. I will show you the ones that I'm going to remove and then the ones that I am going to leave for a later date, because the ones that I'm going to leave I do want to try and overwinter as well. Overwintering is a really good way to, if you can do it and are successful, is a really good way to take a pepper plant that you really liked and hopefully give it a jump start for the next growing season. Like, for instance, these peppers here are pumpkin spice jalapenos. And let me tell you, if you have not had one of these, they are delicious. They're slightly sweet, a little bit of spice, but they're really flavorful. So I really liked these. The one that I just pulled this pepper off of is actually still producing really well, but I have quite a few others in the garden. So I am going to remove the ones that I have over here, leave the one I just picked this from, because these ones just aren't doing as well. Now, eventually, if these ones that I do today don't work, I still have this one that's doing really well that eventually is going to need to come out anyways, and I will still have one to try and overwinter. So these ones here, there's four peppers actually in this little group of pepper area right here. And this one has two plants. One of the plants has nothing growing on it. The other one has a few peppers growing on it. I do not know what these ones are called because the tags all just kind of wore off. But I want to try this pepper. Girlfriend. Ugh. But these ones are coming out. So these are the same. These two here are the same. And then this one that little Miss Thing is eating is, I believe this is another one of those orange spice jalapenos. So even though there's stuff, peppers growing on it, I am just going to pull this because it's leaning out of the soil. And then this one here, I believe, is like a Megatron jalapeno, and it too is leaning pretty hard. So I think those are gonna come out. I'm gonna leave my poblano because it's just looking very good. This thing I'll probably just take out. It has never once produced a pepper. This is another Megatron. This one I will probably leave in because it looks really good. This has never put on a pepper, but it looks okay. And this has never put on a pepper. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. And then here in my other garden, I really struggled with these garden beds for a long time. Something was coming in here and eating down all of my peppers, and they are finally looking really good. So a lot of these are going to stay, but you can see this one has been munched on. There is one pepper. This is going to come out. I am not saving it. Probably not saving that one. Definitely not that one. Probably not saving that one. I might try this bell pepper here, but it's been munched on as well. And, oh. In here, I actually have, I believe this is a habanero pepper, and then I have another habanero back here in this jungle. And then this is a ghost pepper. Now it does not have any peppers growing on it yet, but there are all kinds of flowers, so I'm gonna leave that one. This one here is called a penis pepper. And I don't know what the flavor of these ones are like, so I might try those and see if I like the flavor, and if I do, I will overwinter this. I have another one of those in the other garden. And then finally, this is a Tabasco right here. And this thing was just completely devoured by whatever was coming in here and eating them. And now there are tons of little Tabasco peppers on here. So that is going to stay. This one I am not saving. It looks not healthy. But none of the peppers are coming out today from this garden bed, except for the ones that I'm just not going to overwinter. These I will save for another day. Now I will say I have tried this once before, but I was very unsuccessful. Not only because mainly because I just forgot to water them every once in a while. And they do need water because they are living, but I just forgot to water them. So I was unsuccessful, but this time I'm gonna do better, I hope. So I'm gonna go ahead and start taking out a couple of these plants and we will get to the process. I will say you probably want to start out with brand new soil that is, you know, no pests or anything like that, just a brand new bag of soil, some pots that are clean, and of course your plant. And yeah, the main thing I think would be nice, fresh, clean soil. I may not get this one out without pulling the other one out, but what you want to do is kind of dig or make a big enough circle around your plant so that you can get most of the roots, and then gently just kind of pull up. So there is a name on this tag, but I will pull the pepper seed to see any information about it that I need to know. But that guy came out pretty good, so I'm going to set it aside and grab the other ones out. So with my peppers, I want to keep any sort of identifying tags with each one that I pulled out because I want to know what they are. But I don't think it'll be a problem when they start growing next year if they survive the overwintering process, because they're all pretty distinct peppers. But what I want to do is I want to make sure to get as much soil out of the root ball as I possibly can. And then I'm gonna kind of swish it around in some water. So I'm going to take this over to the hose, rinse this out as best as I can, and then fill a bucket with water and just kind of dip up and down the root system so that I can get all that soil out. Okay, so this next step, I don't know if it really matters which order you do it in. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and plant them first before I trim these all up. But all of these peppers just need to come off anyways. So I'm going to pull the peppers off and then plant them. And then once I'm done planting this in the soil, I am going to drastically trim off the leaves. I know this is very traumatic looking feeling, but that is what must be done for the overwintering to happen. So, and I removed a lot of that dirt from here, so that's good. Now I don't know if the size of my pot makes much of a difference. I just grabbed these little, I think these are 1 gallon pots. I don't have much root system to my peppers, but if I did, I would trim those with scissors to contain them a little bit more. But I think this should be fine because the plant's not necessarily going to be growing, but I don't know if that's correct, like if it needs to be in a larger pot. I'm just winging it here. And if I don't try, how do I know if this will work? So I filled that about halfway, and then I'm going to grab the plant and then just set it in there so that the roots are sitting right on top of that soil, and then I'm just going to cover up the rest of it with more dirt. And if I need to put a stick in there or something to hold this straight up, I can, but I am going to cut most of this off, so I'm not too worried about it. All right, I'm going to get the rest of these potted and then I will be back. I'm going to go ahead and give these some water so that the soil sort of starts to compact a little bit. My chicken's going to have a drink as well. All right, so I'm going to come in and I'm just going to cut, first and foremost, all of these lower branches here. The important thing is to leave a couple of nodes so that leaves can start growing on it when it's ready to start growing again. So like I said, most of this stuff is just going to come off, like, I don't know, here maybe. And then you do want to cut off all of the leaves to where that it's like you have a little stub of a plant. And it's very sad and traumatic, chicken, but it's necessary. Like anywhere there is leaves, just cut it off. And then here is one of those nodes, notches, just like that. And you're pretty much left with bare bones here. So I'm gonna get the rest of these done, and I'm gonna keep watering them so that that soil compacts. Pretty drastic, I know, but that is pretty much how it's done. You have to remove all the leaves. You have to send it into a dormant state, basically. I'm gonna leave these outside for a while just because I don't want to put them inside anywhere, this chicken. Because it is still like, the temperatures are still pretty decent, so I think that'll be okay out here in the garden for a couple more weeks, and then I will move them maybe into the greenhouse, maybe into the house. The greenhouse I think might get too cold during the winter because I can't shut it up, but yeah, so this is what it looks like to try and overwinter your plants. This is going to be a long process to even know if they survived. I guess I'll know if they die because they will just turn into dead brown sticks. But yeah, we should know, I guess, relatively quick if this worked or not, because like I said, they'll just turn into brown sticks. So thanks for hanging out with me. I truly do appreciate every single one of you, and I will see you next time. Bye.